Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedom and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country. In the courtrooms of America, Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedom.
The FBI has now released footage of Floyd Corkins. He's the individual who went into Family Research Council intending to kill. And the information now is shocking because it shows that he found out about Family Research Council from the Southern Poverty Law Center, which erroneously and dangerously classifies FRC as a hate group. Hi, I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel. Joining me right now is Matt Barber, Vice President of Liberty Counsel Action, to talk about this important issue. The Southern Poverty Law Center, Matt, is engaging in dangerous activity, and they do not seem to be turning back. I mean, they are, it's very clear that Floyd Corkins, this person who was intending to commit mass murder in Washington, D.C., got the information of Family Research Council from their website. They haven't apologized. They haven't changed their website. They haven't put a disclaimer on the website. They, in fact, have gone full throttle, continuing to classify and call Family Research Council a hate organization because of its position on marriage and homosexuality.
Yeah, despite the fact that lives were in danger, that Leo Johnson, a heroic manager there, security officer there at Family Research Council, was shot, could have been killed. The Southern Poverty Law Center is moving forward with its smear campaign, its anti-Christian smear campaign that says that Christians who believe what the Bible says about human sexuality are spurred by hate, and that Christian groups like the Family Research Council, like the American Family Association, and many others are, quote, hate groups. And it's not just that the information indicates that Corkins may have been spurred by this propaganda from the Southern Poverty Law Center. He admitted it. The video came out and he said it was the Southern Poverty Law Center that drove him to do this. Their anti-gay hate group materials that he used and that spurred him to go try to commit mass murder with 15 Chick-fil-A sandwiches to throw on the dead bodies, of course, in order to signify that Chick-fil-A had stood firm for marriage, which I guess Chick-fil-A, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center, would be a hate corporation.
Well, if you remember the sequence of the events, the Chick-fil-A founder was ultimately vilified because he was being interviewed by a Christian media, and he said that he believed in marriage as the union of one man and one woman. And then, of course, you had the mayor of Chicago and also District of Columbia saying that they weren't going to allow Chick-fil-A to have their facility in their particular cities. Because of that position of common sense, that people believe that marriage is the union of one man and one woman, and also biblical reality, but also just objective reality as well. And so Floyd Corkins, who
a gay activist,
he's an activist, and so he went to the Southern Poverty Law Center. He said this to the FBI when they were interrogating him, questioning him, that he found out about Family Research Council by going to the Southern Poverty Law Center's website. He not only got Family Research Council, but he got several others. I know one of the other organizations as well. He was intending to go to Family Research Council to kill as many people as he could, take the Chick-fil-A sandwiches and rub them in their faces of the dead bodies,
right,
leave Family Research Council, and then he was going to 3 other organizations in Washington as well, all of which came from the Southern Poverty Law Center. I know one of them because I know one of them had been notified by the FBI after they found this note in his possession that listed these other organizations. So he got them from the Southern Poverty Law Center. He targeted them. You warned, and others had warned before this happened, that because of the recklessness of this Southern Poverty Law Center, people like Corkins were ultimately going to do what he ultimately attempted to do.
Well, keep in mind, this is what the Southern Poverty Law Center is doing here. It's a false guilt by false association. If you go to their website, their hate map links Christian organizations alongside real, hate groups like the Aryan Brotherhood, like the KKK, even violent hate groups with all of the violent imagery. And you click on the hate map with the neo-Nazi salute and so forth, and then right there, right alongside them is the Family Research Council. Well, that creates intentionally, I believe, a mindset with people easily manipulated, that the FRC is a violent hate group. And so, well, how do you stop violence? Well, it's self-defense. That's what they're trying to create, that image. So the Southern Poverty Law Center, Matt, in spite of the fact that they have now been linked by the FBI to domestic terrorism, something they purport to fight against, they are forging full speed ahead. And despite the fact that for months, years before that, I implored the Southern Poverty Law Center to stop this propaganda that somebody was going to get hurt, somebody was going to get killed. They have blood on their hands, and if they continue this, and God forbid something else happens again, I hope that America and even our legal system will hold the Southern Poverty Law Center accountable.
Well, it is irresponsible to list on your website an organization that you disagree with because of your ideology and then classify them as a hate group. It's basically the old straw man. You demonize your opponent. It's the Saul Alinsky. In order to attack the message because you disagree with it, you demonize your opponent. And that's what the Southern Poverty Law Center is doing. Because they disagree on this important issue of marriage and homosexuality, they demonize their opponent. And so they classify them as a hate group. And that puts them in the same category as an Aryan Nation or a violent KKK or some other violent organization. Family Research Council is not one of those organizations. In fact, while the FBI statistics show that hate crimes are on the decrease, Southern Poverty Law Center shows that hate organizations are on the increase, just the opposite of what the statistics show. They've now started classifying Tea Party groups as hate groups as well. This is dangerous, irresponsible. They need to stop. I think there needs to be an investigation from Congress, particularly because the Department of Justice has been very cozy with the Southern Poverty Law Center and has welcomed them with open arms into the DOJ for consultation and rely upon the Southern Poverty Law Center for information. In fact, in some of the recent events that have happened in the United States, the Southern Poverty Law Center tried to focus the attention in an area where it had nothing to do with the terrorism or the events, whether it's in Boston or other places. They're trying to just simply grow and protect their organization, and they're doing it at the expense of legitimate law-abiding citizens and organizations.
Yeah, even in the face of what I'm calling the Southern Poverty Law Center shooting at Family Research Council, even in the face of that, and even in the face of the Boston terrorist attacks, the Islamic Boston terrorist attacks, they want to deviate attention away from, they want to diverge attention away from Islamic fundamentalism and the Islamic terrorism, and create this imaginary boogeyman, the evangelical or the Christian domestic terrorist, which simply doesn't exist. They cite people like Timothy McVeigh over and over and over again. He wasn't a Christian. He wasn't a Christian terrorist. No. He was a nut, an extremist by any sense of the word, but they want to lump Christians into groups like people like
Well,
Timothy.
And when you look at Islam, radical Islam, and you say something about that, they'll call that Islamophobia.
Islamophobia.
And then they'll say you're a hater because you're pointing out that these people were carrying out their Islamic religion. Like, for example, what happened in Boston with these two individuals
who jihad, right,
were carrying out jihad as part of their Islamic religion. It's a bizarre organization that is absolutely dangerous. And the unfortunate thing is we see now some of their classifications of Christians, Judeo-Christians and other people that believe in limited government, the Second Amendment right to bear arms. We see government documents now starting to classify these individuals as domestic terrorists. And where are they getting it from? From the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Yeah, and that's because this Obama administration is also hostile to Christianity. And so they're going to lob on to that information. They're working in concert with the Southern Poverty Law Center. But Matt, hey, the good news is that people are finally, this is an age of new media. People get it. The Southern Poverty Law Center has overplayed its hand like leftists often do. And they are a radical left-wing extremist organization. They have overplayed their hand and have self-marginalized. They've pushed themselves to the fringes. They've marginalized themselves as an extremist group.
Well, and with the recent issues that have happened in the United States here, whether they're shootings at different schools or whatever it might be, or in the Boston, they've marginalized themselves because they've completely missed the mark on this. And I would encourage you to stay tuned. We need to call for a congressional hearing on the Southern Poverty Law Center and the relationship between this federal government under the Obama administration with this organization that is a dangerous organization because it is putting legitimate people and law-abiding citizens and organizations at risk, and that should not be. We can disagree, but don't demonize that other person and put them at risk in doing so. Go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org, lc.org. Ask for my book, Take Back America. That's the book, Take Back America. You can also support this ministry with an online credit card contribution by going to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org. That's lc.org.
You have been listening to Faith and Freedom with Liberty Counsel. We hope that we have motivated you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedom. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email updates. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.